One of my all-time favorite companies is Palantir. Now, what is it and should we buy at these prices? So today we're talking about Palantir. What does Palantir actually do? Palantir is often called a data miner, a giant database for personal information. In reality, it's none of these, but even former employees struggle to explain what it is. Now, what is Palantir? Palantir is arguably one of the most notorious corporations in contemporary America. Co-founded by Peter Thiel, the software firm works with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the U.S. Department of Defense, and the Israeli military. Palantir has been so infamous for so long that for some people, its name has become a cultural shorthand for dystopian surveillance. However, a number of former Palantir employees say they believe the public still largely misunderstands what the company actually does. So today we're talking about what Palantir does and if this is actually a great investment. Palantir has tried to correct the record in series of blog posts with titles like Palantir is not a data company. Palantir explains that misconception can arise because its products are complicated. In an interview with Wired, the company spoke out about its software that can connect and transform different kinds of data collection by government agencies and corporations. Now, Foundry, one of Palantir's platforms, is a collection of different applications that customers use to operationalize data. It is similar to a supercharged filing cabinet. While all of these descriptions are technically accurate, they could also apply to products from hundreds of other tech companies. So, what sets Palantir apart? The company has cultivated its mysterious public image on purpose. Unlike consumer-facing startups that need to clearly explain their products to everyday users, Palantir's main audience is sprawling government agencies and Fortune 500 companies. What Palantir is ultimately selling them is not just software, but the idea of a seamless, almost magical solution to complex problems. And to do that, Palantir often uses the language of aesthetics of warfare, painting itself as a powerful quasi-military intelligence partner with the best in the world. But arguably, Palantir's most recognized jargon is borrowed from The Lord of the Rings. Palantir's employees are also sometimes called hobbits. Now, Palantir's growth is driven by its focus on artificial intelligence, particularly its expanding commercial segment in the US. But the exceptionally stock valuation presents significant risk. The company has shown strong financial performance in 2024 and 2025, but the stock gains have far outpaced business performance, leading to analyst warnings of a potential bubble.
AIP empowers organizations to use large language models and other cutting-edge AI safely and securely. The platform allows you to do three things. First, AIP lets you deploy large language models and any other AI within your private network anchored in your private data. It helps you create a full fidelity, real-time representation of all of the concepts, actions, and decisions within your business. Every truck, every warehouse, every shipment, every delay that can then be used by AI. Second, it enables you to define the ground rules around which data LLMs and AI can and cannot see and what they can and cannot do on behalf of humans. You can do this based on data sensitivity, laws and regulations, and competencies of the model. AIP provides the framework for AI to hand off tasks to other trusted task-specific models, as well as to trusted humans. Finally, with this great power comes great responsibility. AIP brings industry-leading guardrails to control, govern, and trust the AI-powered business of tomorrow.
In 2023, Palantir launched its artificial intelligence platform AIP. It's a catalyst for Palantir's accelerating growth. AIP helps companies operationalize AI using their own data in a secure environment. After years of relying on government contracts, Palantir has made a successful pivot to the commercial market. The U.S. commercial segment is the company's most promising growth engine, with revenue surging 93% year over year in Q2 of 2025. This growth comes despite a relatively small customer base, signaling a large opportunity for expansion. Palantir continues to secure and expand lucrative deals with the US government agencies, including the Department of Defense. In late 2024, it won a contract potentially worth up to $10 billion with the US Army. The company uses a sales strategy where it first works closely with clients, often at a low or no cost, to build deeply integrated platforms. As customers realize the value, they expand their use of the platform, leading to high switching costs and robust recurring revenue.
Once in a generation number of 93% growth in US comm off of a large base, or even 53% growth in USG, which is astonishing, even though obviously it shows where the government is downstream from general trends in AI, or the 68% growth in the US. You still have to say, why are these numbers even more astonishing than they appear? Well, obviously you look at what is the meaning of the number, and the rule of 40 basically tells you the meaning of the number. And if that number is somewhere in the 50s, 60s, 70s, that's pretty baller. When it's the single most impressive number I think any enterprise software company's ever seen, there is something anomalous going on. And obviously the prediction that all the attendees would be downstream from the value, so it would be chips and ontology, is being proven, not as a thesis but as a reality. And then you would obviously ask, well, what is the base? We're now working off of a very large base, getting to we did our $1 billion, so it's a very significant run rate. But then I would say, if you look at a kind of more qualitative version of Palantir, we did this with no compromise in terms of what we believe. We still believe America is the leader of the free world, that the West is superior, that we have to fight for these values, that we should give American corporations and, most importantly, our government an unfair advantage.
Palantir's total revenue grew by 39% year over year in Q1 of 2025 and 48% in Q2 of 2025, when it crossed $1 billion in quarterly revenue for the first time. This followed by a 29% total revenue growth for the full year of 2024 to $2.87 billion. Palantir has achieved sustained GAAP profitability, a key milestone for the company. Its Q2 2025 GAAP operating margin was 27%, up from 11% in Q4 2023. While the government segment still represents a majority of revenue, the commercial segment contribution is growing. Now, government revenue is $1.57 billion in fiscal 2024, about 55%, and the commercial revenue $1.30 billion in fiscal 2024, about 45%. Financial analysts pointed out in September of 2025, Palantir's extreme valuation price-to-sales ratio is over 100. This was which, while robust, was not high enough to justify the price under traditional metrics. To grow into a high valuation, Palantir will need to maintain its accelerated growth and execute flawlessly, particularly within the commercial segment. Overall, Palantir has demonstrated a strong shift towards commercial growth and is efficiently leveraging the AI boom. However, the stock's current price reflects aggressive expectations, leaving it vulnerable to market volatility. And while many opinions differ, I will add a take from Keith Fitzgerald, and you can make up your own mind.
Don't kid yourself when it comes to Palantir. Oh boy. Team Karp took Palantir public just 5 short years ago. Since then, the stock has returned 1,787.53%, give or take a few pennies or percent between friends, over those 5 years. The SPY, a popular S&P 500 ETF by comparison, has turned in 113.76% over the same time frame. That's still plenty respectable, but you're talking about 1,700% versus 113%? I mean, really? Now, the naysayers have been all but banished to the back 40, and the valuation crowd, well, you know how that's gone. It's too expensive. They said at $10 and at $20 and at $40 and so on. I mean, makes my brain explode. Scores of investors are wondering if it's too late to buy. That's what's really important today. The answer, in my opinion, is no, it's not even close to too late to buy. In fact, the game is just getting started.